What does one say to an ancient Nephilim ghost?
I suppose you start with,
I have famously huge turds.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy and we're back with another Diablo 3 Season 36 build-up video. Today this is going to be the leveling guide, full leveling VOD playthrough for the Demon Hunter. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is a Necro, it's not a Demon Hunter. We'll talk about that as we go. We're going to level the Necro to a certain point and then jump on the Demon Hunter because I do think it is the fastest way to do it. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a game on Torment 1. And before I forget, guys, thumbs up does brighten my day. Yeah, but we're going to make a game on Torment 1 because we're going to do a full set of bounties on the Necro because we do have to level Hadrig up to the max to be able to use the Altar of Rites second node, which is going to basically allow us to have items with no level requirement. So first thing initially is to take the Templar's weapon and his shield. Take the bow off the other follower, the Scoundrel. Salvage the bow first because you might actually be able to get enough reusable parts to unlock the first altar node. You also might not, so you may well just have to do selling the shield as well, but the shield will give you a bit of toughness if you can use it. And what we're going to do next is this game has to have Zoltan Kuhl as a boss bounty because he's the easiest boss by far to kill. And what we're going to do now, we're going to all the different bounties in Act 1, just walking around the waypoints, and this is what's called snapshotting. So the idea is that any enemies within this zone that are kind of like spawned are basically going to be locked at level 1 on Torment 1, and that will help us out a lot because as we gain in levels, the enemies are going to get tougher and tougher. So it's worthwhile doing. We'll see in the footage just the difference that it will make. Now, you can simply just start a Demon Hunter if you've not got any character space. It's just painfully slow. You won't be able to do Torment 1 bounties with the Demon Hunter. You're going to have to get your Death's Breath in some other kind of form because, of course, that's one of the sticking points for training Hadrig up to max level. You need a Death's Breath, which will drop out of a Torment 1 bounty cache. Your other option for getting that is going to be a Vision of Enmity, and you need quite a lot of gold. So doing a full set of Torment 1 bounties will give you most of the gold to train Hadrig up. It'll give you your Death's Breath, and that's kind of how we're going to go. Now, Torment 1, if we just stand here, Zoltan Kuhl and his Eternal Guardians will 100% kill us. You do just have to kind of like kite them around, and you're hoping to kill one of these guys, and the explosion will damage the other one. And that's going to be it. Now, to unlock the second node of the Altar of Rites, which we saw at the start of the video, you're going to need a Flawless Diamond. So the way to get that is going to basically be to collect 2 regular diamonds and combine them at the jeweler. Of course, with Season 36, the theme is Soul Shards. So every time you kill a boss, like now we're about to kill Zoltan Kuhl, if he dropped a Soul Shard, you can salvage it, and it does have a chance to have gems in it. So you could get lucky and you could get diamonds straight out the gate. Now, we've got unlucky there because we've had like 3 chest plates drop, and obviously gear would be handy. We're not going to open this chest, and you're gonna sort of see why in a second. Now, I think I make a bit of a mistake here because on the right hand side where it says the objectives, we've got to go to a level 2 area. So what that means is that that won't be snapshotted. So I probably should have left this until last because you can see these enemies dying quite quickly, including the very lucky spawn of a Bloodshard Goblin. Ultimately, if you get a Bloodshard Goblin, it's just the absolute best because we now have got blood shards to spend. Because of course, this whole method is going to be saving the Challenge Rift bag so that we can do the Altar of Rites later. Now, if you're not going to save the Challenge Rift bag, you don't need to do any of this crap. You can just simply make a Necro, level it to 18, get your diamond, and then make your Demon Hunter, and you'll have all the materials you need to do enough level 70 stuff. First rune that goes on is Bone Spike's Sudden Impact, and then Bone Spear Blighted Marrow. Sudden Impact gives a stun, which is quite nice for a defensive thing, and the Bone Spear will increase its damage the more enemies that go through. But as you can see, the snapshotting doesn't work here because we're on a 2nd level. So this elite, I'm really struggling to even like tickle it with my level 1 gear. Unfortunately, it's got Vortex, which is dead annoying because it just keeps sucking me back. I decided to go back to try and get this javelin because it says wounding on it. So I know that means it's going to have like some kind of plus damage. And it is more damage, but unfortunately it still is not enough for me to not get killed. And I think we're going to die a few more times because this is quite annoying now. We've leveled to level 7. We've got Corpse Explosion from level 4, which is quite powerful. But we've not really got any kind of way of generating corpses, unfortunately. So this is still probably too difficult for our poor little early Necromancer. When you get up to like level 11, you can take the Enchantress weapon back in town, so we will go and do that. So we'd be stronger then. You can get the Golem, we'll see later in the video, will generate a pile of corpses. So what I'm getting at is I think it would have been better to save this bounty till the last, because I probably would have been more powerful and I've wasted a couple of minutes here. But I guess overall it's no biggie, and we do eventually get through it. Now, Demon Hunter, I've tried to level Demon Hunter myself, just doing, normal regular leveling. It's super slow up to 18 because you don't get chakra until like level 12. You don't get the dual chakra until level 18 itself, so it is painfully slow because everything's just single target. So I think doing Necro is better. I did a leveling run where I did a Necro to 18, so I didn't bother doing these Torment bounties, and then tried to jump onto the Demon Hunter at level 18. Again, it was just really slow. And I think this total run is going to be like an hour and 15 minutes. And that's with a few mistakes that I realise I make during the way. But this is why I like to do this for you, because I'll do it, behave fairly potato-like, make some mistakes, and then you guys can correct them when you're playing. Now, when we are doing these bounties, unfortunately, sometimes you get ones like this. We've just got to kill all the enemies, and there's nothing else that you can do. The more elites and floors like this, the more difficult it is. Anything at this stage of the game, level 7, is going to really, really hurt. So Arcane, Plagued, Molten, Desecrator, any of these things, they are going to cause a problem. So ultimately, if you're doing hardcore, this is not going to be a particularly viable strategy. It might also be too much for you to do on console as well, because I know the mechanics of the game work differently there. And you really do need density on console to get kills, to get your Nephilim orbs. But I haven't tried a Torment set of bounties. If you can't get this done, if you do decide it's too hard, then you're going to have to rely on some of the methods we're going to show later to get your Death's Breath, jumping into those visions, as we said earlier. Again, probably making a bit of a mistake here. I should probably just like run up to the north or wherever the next part of the map is. Maybe it's south, to generate corpses, because the Bone Spear just really isn't doing much. But yeah, it is a bit what it is. Now, the bounties, I think the fastest time you can get them done, really, if you get really, really good luck, the game drops you, a nice juicy weapon at level 4, some stuff with some intelligence early on and that sort of stuff. You can maybe get it done in like 12 minutes, 15 minutes. I think it is absolute worst where you get like just absolutely crap set of bounties. You forget to do the snapshotting. It could take you like 25, 30 minutes, but eventually you will kind of like slowly grow in power enough to get through. I think we're going to take another couple of deaths because I don't know if we just don't have the recovery, basically. Maybe I should have pressed the potion instead of standing in the poison, but as we say, we are a little potato. Again, at the start of the game, do make sure you got your pet equipped, because that will pick up gold for you. I forget quite a lot of the time at the start of the season. Anything that adds damage and toughness is going to be really helpful, because we are just kind of like starved for gear. And one thing, guys, make sure you absolutely do not speak to the Enchantress before level 11, because her weapon will still be a white crappy dagger. Even if you do it at level 10, still a white crappy dagger, and that's no good to you. Resplendent chests, so that big glowing chest at the top there, very, very helpful for us, because it's going to have items inside, and all of these items are hopefully going to give us a bit of power. So nice belt, nice pair of braces, another 30% damage on our weapon. So this should make the next ones easier. Now on our Necromancer, we've automatically unlocked the skeletons here. I always go the wrong way to this bounty. I always think it's down, but it's up. But the skeletons are going to be nice and handy because they will be a meat shield. But as you can see, given how difficult that last elite was. And then look at that, bang, one shot pretty much from the Bone Spear. And the reason for that is because we've done this snapshotting. So these guys are just melting. Now, the way I think this works is any mob that spawns in from now, so we've got some monsters can grow out the ground, stuff like that, they, I think, will have higher health. And I think anything, so these guys, yeah, that's taken a couple of Bone Spears. Maybe not, maybe they're still snapshots, I'm not entirely sure. But this is certainly a lot easier. In the past, I've just tried to not snapshot and grind through it. But you can see this is, like that Bone Spear just went through whoosh, about 4 or 5 enemies. When we get into this Lost Chamber, again, it's going to be similar. Because we are snapshotting, we may as well kill any elites that we come across, because you never know, they might drop like a nice yellow item. We've got to level 10, so I probably should train the Templar here. For the Templar, you're always just going down the left-hand side to start off with, because we're looking for the like healing and resource generation, that sort of stuff. Ignore the Goblin, ignore the Elite, they're just going to be far too difficult to kill at Torment 10, and we know that for this particular bounty, all we have to do is find the idol. It's not one of these kill everything ones. If it was, that would have added considerable time, because we'd have to kite this Elite probably over to this stuff here so that we could get the corpses to blow up. But try and be mindful, like anything that is going to be like this annoying knockback vortex, just go around it. I know it blows the ego to not blow up every single monster you see in the game, but trust me, it's better. You've just got to come to this part here and explore and look for the idol on all areas of it. Obviously, the floaty monsters will follow you around quite a bit, and just try and ignore them as best you can. It is frustrating, but it won't be that many hours before you're at 70 and you've got your Altar of Rights with the like crowd control immunity, and then this stuff is a thing of the past. We don't get any luck on this bounty because I think we actually end up on the last possible. Okay, there's 3 spawns off the main room and I haven't managed to find the 3rd one. Don't know how you feel, but I feel like that happens to me quite a lot in video games. Whenever there's a choice to go the wrong way, I somehow manage to do it. But yeah, once we've got these bounties done, it's then going to be swap on to the DH. Now, one strategy somebody mentioned in a video would be to rush the Necro to 18. So maybe go and get the cube, and you'd be at level 18 or thereabouts if you went and did that on, say, let's say Master difficulty. And then do a Torment 1 bounties with your Demon Hunter as soon as you're able to craft a weapon. What I'd say to that is you definitely could do that. I probably would caveat that slightly, because again, a level 18, like you've got to train Hadrig, and it does require materials. You'll see later when we do it, it requires so much gold that it becomes a little prohibitive. So the Torment 1 bounties give you so much, I think like 120k gold maybe, so it does allow you to train. And I just think you might want, a strategy could be to play the Necro up until you've got basically Hadrig fully maxed out, and that would work. That little portal that we just saw was a vision of enmity. We don't want to go in that at all at the moment, simply because we're not going to be powerful enough to do it. And we've only got like a few more bounties to go. So level 11 has been reached. So there we go. We've got our long staff of focus, which is like a double damage for us. And that was even off that yellow item. Now, I like to put 2 yellow and 2 blue items in my chest, so I never worry about messing up and running out of materials, which is something that I do wrong in this particular run. Now, we could spend the blood shards on corpse explosion gloves because they are in the pool. We'd have a good chance of hitting them with 300 blood shards, but because we don't really want to take this Necro past level 18 particularly, I think that's a bit of a waste. Again, I've done plenty of leveling strategies. You can take the Necro all the way to 70, complete the season journey, and then you collect your Hadrig's bags on the Demon Hunter. The game will allow you to do that, and it will basically be on the Demon Hunter stuff inside. I should have grabbed that Pool of Reflection because we want to get to level 18 as quick as possible. I was a little bit worried about over leveling, so I left it. That was a mistake. Any white item you really want to be picking up, so that double damaged axe up there, I do go back and grab it. I managed to run past the trousers though. Can't see the woods for the trees sometimes. White items are very, very powerful in this leveling experience, because when we do get the Altar of Rights, no level requirement unlocked, we're going to be crafting level 70 items, and we're going to need materials to do that, because again, we're not using the Challenger bag. If you were using it, you'd have all the materials that you need, so it wouldn't be less, it would be a lot less of an issue. But yeah, again, snapshotting with one bang that person, which again we wouldn't have been able to do had we not done that. Now, again, very happy we snapshotted this, because walking into a blue immediately would not be good. Every time we pick up a weapon, we're going to try and give it a little look-see just to see if it is something better for us. It's worthwhile checking those. Again, there's a lot to manage, I guess, in this stage of things, because the more power we get, the better. Now, I don't know what level the golem is, and I'm wondering, watching this back, whether we could have swapped earlier. It might be level 13, but as soon as we can get the golem on, then it is worthwhile. And I think I've forgotten to mention the first passive that we selected at level 10 was Fueled by Death, and what that does is whenever we blow up a corpse with the explosion, like you can see on screen now, we get some move speed. I think it stacks like 3% per stack up to 30%, so every little kind of helps. One thing as well I haven't mentioned up until this point is this is of course being filmed on the last day or two of season 35, so I do have the benefit of the season 35 theme here. It is adding juice, because the kill streaks will help us out a few times, mopping up some enemies, making it faster. We do get some damage out of the season theme. You won't have that, so it will be a bit slower, but you do also have the ability to find soul shards, and that might well help up the whole diamond experience. I'm not sure if they'd be that great to start off with. Now, this is an annoying bounty. We've got to do 150 enemies, but we may as well go for the cursed chest. Now, because that's a radiant chest, at level 18 there's a chance that can have diamonds, but it's nowhere near the waypoint, so we don't want to go out of our way to come back to this, so we may as well pop it and get the stuff. Now, I probably should put the golem on at this point, because I'm like 90% sure it's unlocked, but I've just forgotten, so again, that's a little bit of a mistake. Golem's really handy, as I said before. Plop it down, pile of corpses, blow them up, and it is particularly handy. But this isn't too bad. I think this is maybe like 15 minutes or so to this point. We've pretty much got the bounties done. Really good place generally. One thing as well, doing a set of Tournament 1 bounties, is you can get insanely lucky. Not just the Bloodshard Goblin, you could get really lucky and get a Gem Goblin, which again would drop you probably a Flawless Diamond. And if not, it would have a really high chance of dropping 2 diamonds you could combine. And every so often, when you level, you get a Bandit Shrine. I've had that happen a few times, and that's pretty nice. All you can do here is just explore the map, try and get the enemies as quick as you can. Always feels frustrating when you've like not explored it properly, and 150 enemies is difficult to kill, but you can't really spend too much time fishing for like a good set of bounties when you're leveling, because as long as you've got the Zoltan Cool, I think you just have to take what you can get. Like, I'd say this is probably a fairly unlucky set, because we've had to go to a new zone on 2 of them, and then one of them has been like a kill 150 enemies on what is a fairly big tile set area. But, you know, the Bloodshot Goblin offsets that. Like, you'll see in this run, we get some insane luck at sometimes, and at other points, we really crap out. It's RNG, it's just how it is. It's not personal. Everybody's luck is different. But at this point, may as well let these enemies kill us, because we just need to go back to town. That's a little trick. If you get stuck, don't worry about teleporting. You can just die and come back. We speak to Tyrael. He's going to give us 1 solitary bounty cache, but inside it is going to be enough gold, like, to take us to 225. Thereabouts, 3 plans. So we can now train him up, which is good. We're going to salvage all the stuff because we're super tight on resource. Now, I make a mistake here, because obviously we're level 16. We need to get to level 18. So there you go. Command Golem is on now. So that is the pile of corpses. Stick any rune you like on your command skeletons. Put Bloody Mess on the corpse explosion just to make it better. What I should have done here is gone and got the cube. Now, I would have been far over level 18, I think, at this point. Again, we don't need to leave the game on Torment 1 to go get the cube. You can stick it down to Master. You only need 18. The thing with diamonds is they're just like a drop chance, like an item drop chance. It doesn't matter what difficulty you're playing on. They can drop equally as likely on normal as they can on like Torment 6. Doesn't make a difference for that. But going to get the cube now would have saved me a task, because with not using the Challenger bag, we're going to do conversing. But guys, you need Kanai's cube to do the conversing. So at the moment, we're running the Temple of the Firstborn. And the idea is that you can build up quite decent kill streaks in here, because there's lots of these little buggy enemy things. If we'd gone and got the cube, then we can still massacre bones quite efficiently. And we might have got a diamond drop as we went. But if not, at least we'd have the cube done, because that's gonna help cost us like some time later. So just so a nice big pile of corpses come down from the sky. That's the season theme from 35. So that's the type of thing you won't have access to. But unfortunately, there is no way of playing with the Altar of Rites unless it's on the current season. Now, this is the magic level 18, because now diamonds are in the game. So we're going to go back to that chest that we left in Zoltan Cool's archive, so that we can open it and see whether we get diamonds. Now, in the run that I did before this, where I was trying to swap, just get to level 18, I think I got diamonds, and I don't think we do on this one. I can't remember. Maybe we do. I've tried so many leveling strategies lately. There you go, 4 diamonds. Now, that's not always going to be the case. You can run him 4 times and still not have the diamonds. But that is a good example as to why you want to leave that chest there, because otherwise you're going to have to reset the game, kill him again on normal a few times, and then you're going to get your diamonds. You need to train the jeweler up 1 level. That will allow you to craft a flawless diamond, and then that's going to be pretty nice. As you see, even with the Torment 1 set of bounties, we need 1 DB and 50 gold, 50,000 gold, and we don't have it. What I've decided to do, I think at this point, is to just do a bit more gold farming on this Necro whilst it's nice and easy with the corpse explosion, just to get the level 60 weapon from a demon hunter, and I'm going to swap at that point. Now, that's not the only way you can do it. You could, like I'm looking for cursed chests here, and I think I decided that one's too far away, so I'll reset the game. You can, as I mentioned earlier, do the Necro all the way until you can craft level 70 stuff. That's certainly an option. It's not too bad to play another 5 minutes of Necromancer to get yourself into that position. I'm just looking at bounties, because if we can get something with cursed that I know is going to be a good one, I'm not sure on any of these, so I think I just opt for the Temple of the Firstborn and hope that the chest spawns. But if you can get a bounty, then it is going to be helpful, because you get obviously the gold for completing those, and that's really the limiting factor now. We've got our Death's Breath from doing those bounty runs, so it is just about finding gold now. Obviously chests and stuff like that are going to help, because there's not that many gold drops from monsters. Now, gold, obviously, the higher the difficulty you play, the more gold you get. So that's why I've left this on Torment 1, because the level of the character doesn't make any difference now. The only limiting factor, say it again, is just simply gold. So doing this event here, getting this cursed chest, is going to be helpful for us, because inside there will be the gold reward. Again, season theme here, we've got the twisters going off. You won't have that. The chests that come down from the sky, I can't remember what kill streak it is. Maybe it's 150, maybe we'll see it in a sec. No, that's the little things that grow out the ground. Maybe it's 200. The chests do come down, they do leave gold, so again, that is helpful for us in this particular run. But as I said, I can't turn it off, so it is what it is. There we go, 200. So it's not a massive amount, but it is helping a few hundred gold here and there. So we'll get another diamond. So you see in that chest there's a diamond. So again, if there are any chests that you can leave by waypoints whilst you're doing your set of bounties on your Necro, leave them there, because you may well be able to do the training. Now, I think we go once more on the Necro because we've got 50k gold, which is enough to train Hadrig, but we're going to have a problem because we're not going to have the money to actually craft a level 60 bow, which is what we really want to do. So I decided to do one more run and hope that we'll get the chest again. Looking for any cursed events that I know are good ones, like Cursed Cellar in Act 1. I think there's one in the Howling Plateau that's quite good. Again, just looking to build up that gold, and as soon as we get to, like 60,000, we probably should be heading back and getting our Demon Hunter made. Resplendent chests can be fairly common in this temple, like tile set, so again, it's worthwhile having a look. I'm just checking my resources there just to see how much I've got in terms of like crafting materials and stuff, just to make sure that we are not limited by something other than gold. And I think we are okay. But again, if you see what I mean, we could have had the cube by now, and there's generally, again, similarly to this area, there's cursed chests that can spawn, there's bounties that can spawn in there. If there is a bounty with your chest collection, cube collection, then again, that would be another gold boost, provided you can get it done. Now, we do get lucky because we get the chest again, so that's 2 out of 2. Sometimes it's just RNG, you can go several runs without seeing it. Sometimes you can get it like 8, 9, 10 in a row. I'd say it probably spawns about 2/3, maybe 3/4 of the time. I'd avoid visions if you did happen to spawn one at this stage, because you're killing a lot of enemies. I wouldn't. But if you can see the work here that Corpse Explosion is putting on, this is why Necro is so fast to 70, because you can just do this the entire way. And it gives us a chance at least of getting double chests for stuff like this, provided you're not playing at too high difficulty. And again, that'll give us double the amount of gold, which will just make training Hadrig so much faster. And I think we end up with enough gold to train him 2 more levels, so we've only got 1 to do. There's an enmity vision. Again, we want to just really avoid that. You could have a little look and see if there's goblins inside. I can't remember if I do or not. Yes, I do. It's quite rubbish, I think. Well, let's stick the golem down, see what happens. And as you can see, the difficulty inside these is just like far higher. And I just think, well, let's drop the difficulty down, see if we can do some stuff, because we are still, Death Breaths are going to be handy. We still need them, because we still need those to do the conversion in the cube. And in the end, I just think, whatever. We've got enough to craft Hadrig up, so let's just get that done. So we train him up, and there's 1 more level to max, sorry, not 2. So we can now make a bow, which we're going to do. That is going to be a level 61 bow. I decided to just salvage everything on the Necro, because we're going to say goodbye to him at this point. We no longer need him. Ideally, we would have had a bit more gold, and we'd have been able to do a level 70 bow, because obviously level 61 is a waste of time. But it is what it is. So we're going to make a new character now. So this is going to be our seasoned Demon Hunter. Now, we have been going for like 25-30 minutes at this point, but you'll hopefully see that we will make that time back up, because I think Demon Hunter is just so sucky to level. We can stick the game straight on Torment 6 for a look, because it'll depend on how good the bow is that we make as to whether we can do that. I think I just have a little bit of a check just to make sure that this is the correct one. It is. My character tells me at this point I can't put it on, and that's simply because I've been a donut and I've forgotten to go and unlock the altar node. Once we've got this second node, which requires the flawless diamond and a few crafting materials, again, I should really have checked to make sure I had enough before making my bow. So I should have done that on the Necro to avoid getting stuck. But now I've got a level 61 bow, which is pretty tasty, and we can hire up the Templar, and we should be able to crush most stuff. Now, obviously, it's rolled with vitality on it. That's why our health has gone down so massive when we put it on. We're spending our blood shards on the Demon Hunter because the Wraps of Clarity will help us out a bunch. We get very lucky and hit it on the second attempt. And what they'll do is it's 50% damage reduction, 40 to 50% damage reduction every time we fire off a primary left click. And as you can see on Torment 6, the game will just fly by really quickly. That is very nice for us. Now, getting to level 12 is going to be helpful, and Torment 6, of course, just makes it much easier. But as you can see, we're already taking quite a heavy amount of incoming damage. So without gear, it is a little tricky. And you're just taking this balance between playing at the highest difficulty that you can to get the most XP in the fastest time frame possible. That combined with the ability to actually have stuff to spend. You know, it's like a balance. You want to make sure you're collecting items, you want to make sure you're getting XP, and you want to make sure that you're not dying. Again, that kind of like frustration threshold is different for every kind of person, I guess. But yeah, the Wraps of Clarity is certainly helping because we'd be taking like almost twice as much damage without them. Looks a little bit like we're probably not going to get the chest on this run, but we're already at like level 11. We've unlocked Vault, we've unlocked Caltropes, we've got Impale, but it does suck. Again, if you do see any weapon racks like that, pop them, because they will have white items generally on them, and that's going to be very useful for that conversion process, as we'll show later on in the video. Level 12 hits, we get Chakram, we end up getting a nice big boost because we get to level 16. I've put on the passive that gives the extra move speed when you vault, because we're just going to try and keep this Demon Hunter a little bit zippy to keep these kill streaks up. At the moment, we're really hoping for a vision. That's really what I want to spawn, because at the moment, the earlier you get into one, the more powerful this level 61 bow will be. You might have a level 70 bow, it's the same thing. Obviously, the earlier you get in there, the more powerful it is, because level 1 monsters are nowhere near as strong as level 19. Sorry, level 19 monsters much stronger than level 1, so on and so forth. So as you progress in levels, the overpowering of your items, like scaling wise, drops off. So like towards the end, we'll end up reducing the game down to like Torment 1. But for the moment, Torment 6, you're going to try and keep it on here as long as possible. And until you start hitting that like inefficiency barrier, it's just going to take too long. I actually finish off training the Templar there. Again, left hand side only. There's no point putting a cheat death on. The dude's going to be dead so often. It's probably not going to help. Now, in terms of Demon Hunter skills, I've gone for preparation to buff up my disciplines. That will give us more access to vaults. I decided to put Smokescreen Displacement on for a bit of running around really fast. Blood Vengeance, because I think we're probably going to be tight on resource. Invigoration rune goes on preparation. And I think that's it. I probably should have swapped Fan of Knives and the Displacement rune, because I normally have on my S key my move speed ability. I decided immediately that Torment 6 is too hard with our level 61 bow, so I drop it down to 5. And again, similar thing, we're just doing the Massacre bonus leveling. The chest is still going to be fairly helpful because it's going to give us gear, and we were obviously quite lacking in gear. But we do get the vision almost straight away. I probably should lower this down further than I do, and you'll see what I mean, because we get absolutely slapped by Gome immediately, because we didn't have our 50% damage reduction up, and I play this section particularly poorly, and we die several times. Look at that splat, deciding not to move for the telegraphed attack. It's like I've never played the game before. But you guys can do better. I decided to drop it down to Torment 10, but all this stuff still will probably kill us in one hit. I still haven't quite got that memo, so I'm going to walk right up to the spider, despite playing a ranged character, and literally just stand there and take it in the face. Really, really poor. But yeah, and then I decided to stand on top of it. Like, that's quite clearly dumb, and I've run out of revives. Fortunately, it's just last checkpoint since the start of the vision. But I probably should just be staying the hell away from the spider. That would have been the move. Now, this was quite unfortunate because it was just simply a single level vision. Not that I realised this at the time. I'm thinking, why am I so squishy? And the reason is because of basically, aside from the weapon, I've got no other gear other than those braces that we got. Now, the goblin being here on its own is a bit annoying because we wanted a juicy one where we'd have a much better chance of getting a DB. But we pop the chests, we get the bounty mats, that's fine. Again, slight mistake here. I should have gone back out and done that chest, I think, just again for like gear purposes, but we just remake the game. Plus, remember, once the vision timer expires, we can simply spawn another one. But I decided to remake on Torment 1. Now, it's going to be a real difficult, hard watch at times, this, guys, because the visions are tough, but we absolutely have to do them because the rewards inside are just too great. We can't just get by with this level 61 item. We do need a level 71. And even if we had a level 70 item, eventually it would run out of juice and we would need other stuff. Don't take your Wraps of Clarity off. Like, I think I just looked at the braces and went, ooh, these are better. Leave your Wraps of Clarity on. Damage reduction from them is far going to outweigh a slightly improved item. If you get this room here, we've seen it a few times in this video and there is no chest, don't worry. It means that it's just going to be either north or south of it. And obviously we knew that we had the bounty this time because it said cleanse the cursed temple chest. So we know we're always going to get it. Again, just really hoping for the vision to spawn. I think I've probably put twin chakrams on at some point. So hopefully you notice that. Because as I say, we get that at level 18. And that's your main thing for the Demon Hunter. Twin chakrams, because the AoE is great. I'd play twin chakrams over even playing Impale with the Carle's Point dagger. I know people like to use the Challenge Rift bag for leveling. If you do your upgrade and you get yourself a dagger, I'd still use twin chakrams. Impale, I personally think, sucks for leveling, even with the 300% modifier on it. I'd rather have the bigger AoE coverage of the screen for the chakram. Now we have spawned division. I think I decided to finish the chest. Probably shouldn't have bothered. But we're going to jump into the vision and see what we do. Now, we really don't need to be worried about picking up blue items, in theory, because again, if we did this properly, we'd have the cube. So the only thing I'd need to worry about is picking up white items and we do the converting. But at this point, I still haven't realised that I've made a whoopsie and not gone and got the cube. It's still on Torment 1 at the moment. We're just about surviving. I can't remember if I die and drop the difficulty or if I just leave it. But this is the kind of balance. No problem with dropping the difficulty. I think I just hop out whilst that explosion's going off and hop back in, then nearly die and hop back out and come back in again. You should probably just take the death on the chin, I think, really, and do it that way. I think I decided to go back to town to salvage some stuff and then change my mind and go, God, come on, they're nearly there, they're nearly done. Now, it is worthwhile killing the bosses if you can, because you will get a greater Rift key, so that can be plugged into the altar later for one of the unlocks, and obviously it's useful to have when you get to 70 just for helping you progress along your season journey. Now, this is a bit nasty because it is just a floor of entire blues, but these guys have got a decent chance of dropping a DB like we just saw there, Death's Breath. We need probably at least 2 so that we can convert 100 blue mats and 100 yellow mats. Ideally, I think you probably want 4 because you're probably going to want to do that process twice because you still need a lot of mats to craft like your Sage's set and stuff. So we should be picking up all these white things. I think it's worthwhile killing these elites again because they do have the chance of dropping the Death's Breath. Now later on in this run, I can't remember whether it's this vision continues. It's just insane. Like, we do get some really tasty legendary items drop. And again, we get a nice floor here with quite a few blues. And this is going to be very, very helpful for us. I do enjoy doing the visions for the leveling because one, it's a little bit different. And it is a bit boring to just do the temple runs over and over. 2, it's really efficient in terms of like to a certain point, because you're getting so many materials. And 3, you get the chance to get insanely lucky in these. And I guess any RPG player is probably a little bit of a gambler at heart. You always like the thought of that super dopamine drop of the luckiest item in the game. And with doing this, there is such an enhanced legendary drop rate in here that you do allow yourself to get super, super lucky. And obviously you can get terrible legendaries and you can get really good ones. It just kind of depends. I think we sacked off that floor because it just looked a bit icky. I think I'm just thinking we've probably got enough DBs now, so we'll just kind of go through. But here we go. This is where, you know, lucky finds start happening. And this is where, if you do have good game knowledge, it will help you out, because I think we've just found a holy point shot. Now, I actually don't end up using it, but again, if you are on your challenge rift bag and you'd used it for leveling, I mean, you probably wouldn't be in a vision anyway in that circumstance. But obviously, you've got one of the key pieces here for making a Shadow Impale Demon Hunter now. So at 70, if you got 2 pieces of Shadow and had the holy point shot, that might be well faster than going off and doing the season journey and getting the Natalya Set. It will kind of depend, really. Kanai's points, dagger, there's only 2 in the loot pool, so that potentially would be a really big find, not just for now, but also for 70. Right, this is where I realise I have messed up, because I go over to the cube to convert my mats, and I go, I don't have the cube. And I'll be honest, guys, I have a little bit of a paddy, and I have to put myself on timeout for a couple of minutes. So this is going to be split into 2 things. Now, I realise I need 5 veiled crystals, and fortune would have it I've got 5 yellow items, so I can basically salvage this stuff and craft a level 70 weapon. I've got no mats to re-roll anything, so this is total the mercy of the gods as to whether this is particularly good or not. I'm just double checking to make sure I don't have to train Hadrig anymore. And I suppose it's only 1,000 gold to craft the bow, so maybe I shouldn't have been worried that much about stuff. I'm just triple checking this is the correct bow, because this is like going to screw me. We get a socket on it, which I guess is kind of helpful. We plug in the massive +9 damage, woohoo. And what you really want on it is vitality, guys, because again, you're going to look to try and go up to Torment 6 and see what you can do. Now, it's probably far too much of a jump at this stage, and I'm realising, crap, I'm going to have to go get the cube, and I'm just a little bit frustrated. So this whole video, well, the whole recording that I've got on my computer is going to be stuck into 2, because I think I come in here, die a few times and just get really annoyed with myself, because I'm like, I shouldn't even have to be doing this. I should have done it already. And yeah, we're now at the point where we need to go back into a vision, potentially, because we just don't have the materials. But yeah, it's annoying. Anyway, for the level 30 passive, I decided to go for archery, which is just going to give us 8% extra damage. I think I'm most interested in doing damage at this point. Again, why I've decided to put this on Torment 6 is just stupid. I should really be doing this on like Torment 1, because again, what's the limiting factor here? It's getting the cube. It's probably important for me to just do that rather than anything. So I decided to drop the difficulty down. I go for 4. Again, it's not a good choice, guys, because it's not necessarily the damage, it's the fact that I'm going to get one banged by pretty much anything, even with the Raps of Clarity. So again, poor, I should have dropped it further, and then I think I've run out of revives and get really frustrated, and then I have to take a 2-minute timeout for myself, because I'm just so cheesed off that not only have I made the mistake of not getting the cube, I've then made the mistake of not dropping this to like, I mean, I could have dropped it to normal, because it would have taken me like 2 minutes to run through and get the cube, and I think I'd die about here and just like get really frustrated. I've got to go back to the start. But yeah, these things, they do get the best of us, you know, but all you can do is get back up. Like, motto in life, if you get knocked down 7 times, get up 8. Doesn't mean you're not going to feel frustration. I think that was what did it, where I respawned, ran straight forward and got splattered by the falling tree thing. So I'm going to go and find the second half of this clip. I'll be back in a sec. Now, fortunately, my anger subsided pretty quickly, and I think it is only a couple of minutes later I've decided, look, let's just go get the cube. It's going to be pretty quick. Just run through everything. Stop trying to engage with the enemies. Just get the cube, and that's going to be the main thing. So again, this is probably going to waste like 5 minutes, and I think we could have done it. Again, I'm already going the wrong way. I know the cube isn't down. We've been down this left-hand side. I've explored all this. We really should be heading to the right, because that's quite clearly where the cube is going to be. Well, the purpose of doing this, as I said earlier in the video, it's to help you guys so that you're not making these same potato and idiotic mistakes that I do. But you can see Torment 1's far more comfortable, mainly because everything is dead before it gets a chance to fire anything. But still, it possibly a bit of a mistake. We probably should be just doing this on like Master, something like that, just to make sure that we don't die. Because once we've got the cube, we can then do the conversion. We can then get a level 70 bow, and obviously having a bow that's like 35, 34 levels above your character, that's going to be really useful. Like the jump from 61 to 70, because we've got a level 61 bow, the jump from 70 to 61 to 70 is still kind of nice. I've just run past that dude because he's probably going to be a bit of a problem, so if we can just ignore him, that's fine. And again, I'm not overly bothered about getting the largest kill streak possible here. I'm just thinking, let's just go get the cube. Again, maybe that's a mistake because we do get a vision to spawn, but our probability of that, I think, would have been higher if we had actually stopped to kill everything. And again, how many visions you need to do will depend on how they go. And I think we end up actually doing another set, which again probably isn't the fastest and most efficient thing. Like if we could have just done one. So there's the portal that is spawned. I think we're going to come back and get this in a sec. Get lucky there. Legendary belt. I think it's the Hellcat waistguard, so we can actually get a bit of damage out of grenades. With that, it's not amazing. There's maybe a better skill I could have taken with it, but I think I just put grenades on the left click. Up here, there's usually a cursed chest, but obviously we don't get it this time. But it doesn't matter. We're just going to take the cube now. Again, probably panicking a little bit here because I'm obviously trying to get a good time for the video and stuff like that. It might have been better to just simply go back to town and do the conversions now, but I think I decide, well, we're okay for Torment 1 at the moment, so maybe we'll just jump into this vision. And I think that's what we end up doing. And I'm pressing the town button instead of the button to identify the belt. It is the Hellcat, so I think we'll just very quickly swap on to grenades, just chucking anything on. I don't even care what the rune is, but let's just go and see if we can get a Torment 1 vision done. And yeah, hopefully this will put us in a better place with mats, because again, I still think we're probably a little dry on reusable parts. I think thinking back is why I'm thinking of doing this, but it is certainly a lot easier now than on Torment 1 with our level 61 bow. So we asked, again, if we'd waited and crafted a 70, well, so much the better. We'd be so much more powerful. But the DBs are going to come in handy. We're just trying to really run through this as best we can, and we're about to get some insane luck. So rip my season, because I think it's pretty much all accounted for here. So still picking up the white items. Got the next floor on the vision, and we're just trying to skip through, I think, at this point. Boss floor's not great. Again, I think I just skip it because I know we've got the Greater Rift key already. So again, there's no point standing there for a couple of minutes and killing those things. If we can skip, we'll skip. This we do go for because I think, well, we've got a DB potentially inside of it. I don't think we get it. And we'll just bounce to the next floor. Again, we are picking up the yellow items at this point still because like that, 10% damage, 10% toughness, 5% toughness, probably worth it. And we just about escaped. Now, really lucky here, we get a double-handed crossbow drop, a quiver drop, and a ring drop all at once, which is pretty tasty. Quiver ends up to be really, really useful because it's the Siri satchel, So again, not just for leveling, because it's going to buff up our main generator skill, Hungering Arrow, which we can swap to. But again, we are going to get the Natalya Set in Season 36. It's really powerful, did a video on it the other day, but it's not great for like speed farming. So you want to get the Gears of Dreadland set up, and having a Siri Satchel that you can cube immediately at level 70. Wow, that would be so helpful. Be so good to get this actually on the season. Again, we're probably running out of inventory space, and I'm probably wasting time here. But I think I'm still kind of thinking, I'm not entirely sure how much materials we need, and I've decided at this point, let's just not overstress it. Let's just go back to town and have a look. So we can use the cube here and go to convert, and then we want to pick reusable parts because we should have a decent amount of those. But actually turns out we've only got 142, so I've not done that good of a job of picking up enough white items. So we've got the DBs to do the conversion at this point. We just don't have the actual items. Now we have got a helmet with a socket in. We still don't have a pair of gloves at this stage, which is pretty bonkers. I think I realised that and just go and gamble a pair at some point. Broken Promises rings can add a bit of damage. We stick the Siri Satchel on. You may as well go Hungering Arrow, Devouring Arrow if you can. That's going to give you a nice bit of damage. The Breezer Doe is not going to do anything for you, but I think I just stick them in the stash because, again, we're not going to play this character any longer. I think I just think, well, I'll just get any pair of gloves. It's only 25 blood shards, whatever, just to stick them on so that we can get through this a little bit quicker. Now, we know we're out of white materials now. Fortunately, we do have this vision open, so we can pick these up. These are like 7 or 8 probably per time. Realised that we missed an amulet, I think it was, on the ground there, which was probably going to be helpful for us. Again, yellow's probably not worth picking up because we're about to do a bunch of level 70 crafting, but again, my brain is spurging and not working. But yeah, just pick up the white items and you'll be good to go. So level 44, we're not too bothered about how quickly we're leveling, I guess, at this point. And look at this for luck, guys, a goblin field. Now this is insane because even at level 44, this gem goblin can drop Imperial gems. So how cool is that? We've now got Imperial Ruby, and I'm getting all excited because I'm thinking, well, maybe if we can get level 60 gems, maybe we'll get some decent plans. And of course, there's so many materials that drop out these little goblin things that this is the dream. And this is, as I said earlier, one of the reasons I do like doing the visions, because you get the chance for insane luck. So we found a goblin field with tons of stuff in. We found the Siri Satchel. We found the Holy Point shot. Of course, this is probably at the very, very top tier of lucky runs. You could do a leveling on the Demon Hunter, like, I don't know, 20 times and not see a goblin field, 30 times not see a goblin field and not see, decent legendaries, but you've at least got the chance of getting lucky. So this now becomes basically pick up the loot simulator. You can see that the Hungering Arrow is doing quite a bit of work with that Siri Satchel. And I think I decided to go back to town at this point just to free up the inventory space. Red gem in the helmet for the XP. We're going to stick in a couple of Ores gems for the gigantic toughness that's going to offer. Don't really care about any of the other items and their level. We've also managed to pick up a bow here, which is not going to be useful because it doesn't have a modifier on it. But again, theoretically it could have done. And we will have, because we've got the cube now, because we've done a few visions, if we did want to extract something into the cube, we absolutely could do. Again, I probably didn't think about that enough whilst doing this leveling. The Siri Satchel, we could have slammed it into the cube. That would have been helpful. In terms of all these reusable parts and stuff, it's just awesome because it just helps us out so much. I don't even think we need to worry about doing any more converting, but of course we could do, and that would not be a problem. I think we missed some stuff up there in the right hand side, and I think maybe I go back and decide we may as well carry on the vision with crafting up the stuff. I mean, that's what I should do. I should put a Sage's set on at this point and go and finish the vision, potentially for the double DBs. Again, you could just simply at this point go, I've got enough. I can do my level 70 stuff and I don't really need it. But yeah, I do craft the sages at this point. I can't remember if we jump back in or not. Sages is really nice because it's going to give you this super extra stats, like plus 250 to all of your stats. It's level 70 stuff, so it's going to be much better anyway. And then obviously the bonus on 3 pieces, it's going to double your DBs. You give this to the follower later on in the season when you're done, and then you've got double DBs pretty much from the get-go. This should now be like total wipeout. Again, I'm just trying to basically get to the end as quickly as possible. May as well kill the Guardians now because we're super juiced up and powerful, because we do have the chance for like their Greater Rift key. I'm still picking up the white mats, probably don't need to, but I just think, well, we may as well carry on with this because we can get some more keys, get some more DBs. Again, if you're playing a character properly, then this would all be useful stuff at 70, so I think it's worthwhile doing. Right, like we could have just quit and jumped straight back into massacre leveling, but I thought we may as well finish it off, get the materials, and this would put us in a strong position, I think, for when we do actually get to 270. Nearly missed the holy water, but we do manage to remember to pick it up. That wolf guy fancies some and gets splattered in the face by double chakram. So now we are at the kind of end game of this leveling. We've got everything that we need to make a bunch more level 70 stuff. The items are not massively usable. Again, on the season, you'd hold on to the Chain of Shadows, which is this belt we're going to salvage there, just in case you found some shadow pieces, because of course we've got that holy point shot. 2 pieces of shadow and the belt would be good, but we may as well whack this up to Torment 6, and this is now just going to be a case of massacre bonusing out the last like 20 minutes of this. Now, level 70 stuff, I think I got excited and hoped that I'd got the level 70 Orgild's plans. Whilst these shoulders are better, they're not level 70, so we're not going to bother. You could, if you'd found the Canes set, you could go for that for the XP boost. I just don't think it's worth it. I think you're better off picking level 70 stuff. So I think we're going to go for the armor pieces that we're missing. So just on the shoulders, we're going to do the pants now. We're really hoping for main stat. Main stat vitality and sockets are kind of like the things that we would like, because we've got some gems to plug in. But anything with dex and vitality is going to be good enough. We're still rocking a few lower level items because we've got those wraps of clarity. So again, we could have cubed those at this point, got the maximum damage reduction for them, and then used a level 70 pair of braces. That would have helped. Same for the satchel. We could have cubed it probably. Obviously, cubing costs, I think, 5 death breath, so you need to be a little careful that you've got enough. And obviously, the more things that you cube, the less DBs you have, and that means the longer it's going to take for an upgrade. And the game is now just like insanely lucky. It's dropping us legendary gloves at level 49. Again, probably not useful because we've got a level 70 pair, but it could have been something nice, and we do get a decent pair of gloves with a power on later on. Not that we use them. Now, we're back onto the start of the video now. We're kind of like trying to pick a difficulty that is efficient. Again, bear in mind, I've got the season theme of 35 here doing a bit of work for me, but you could have made some more level 70 items and maybe stuck the wraps of clarity in the cube. So again, that was maybe something we could have done. We could have recrafted the level 70 bows that had like damage percent on it, or at least rolled it at the mystic potentially. And each time now, we're just really hoping for this chest, because any kind of kill streak of like, 100, 200, 300 would be good. And you just got to try and do your best to keep the kill streak up. What's inside these chests is now no longer particularly important. So gameplay wise, it's probably better to make sure that you can move on to like the next part of the map fast. You should be exploring the corners of this room, which I'm not doing in this particular instance, because these bug things can fly down from the corner, and you can get like 20-30 of them spawn like straight at once, which is really nice. But we're just looking for 200 plus kill streaks if we can get them. You can get insane kill streaks if you manage to like hit this right. You know what you're doing and stuff. I find it quite annoying because when you finish this, the game puts up a little pop-up like there, event complete, and it blocks off. So I've got no idea how much time I've got, and we end up running out because that's just how that particular spawn was. Whether it's worthwhile carrying on after the chest, you can still get a decent-ish kill streak. It's probably best to just reset, and I think that's what I end up doing. But I think, well, we may as well pop the chest. You never know, you might get legendary, you might get something decent out of it. Until you get to level 61, you're not going to get any nice gems out of them. So from a gem perspective, until you get to essentially the Reap of Souls expansion, you're still going to be stuck with the square ones, which are no good. I think I remember that the Sage's helm, I think, always drops with a socket, so I think we may as well go for it. We could have potentially re-rolled any of the stats on some of this stuff. The St. Archie's gauge, again, that could be useful for extracting at some point, so chuck it in the cube. Those gloves that we just found give us a shield when we damage an elite, so can be kind of handy in like a beginner build. I think I try 6 again, but I want to say we drop this down pretty quickly because we're only like 13 levels out now, so whilst we're still rocking a load of 70 stuff, we're not like tremendously like overgeared or anything like that. We've still got that really rubbish blue ring, so again, we probably could have gone and spoken to a vendor and got like a level 57 one. We've got plenty of gold, so that probably would have been worthwhile. But as it happens, Lady Luck was with us and we got a yellow ring immediately. Again, 61 is a break point for the game for the Reaper of Souls. You get much better gear at 61 than you do at like 57, 59, 60, that sort of stuff. Again, the game is just dropping as legendaries. I mean, I think that's probably about 10 maybe on this run that we've had. Which, as I say, if you're finding 10 legendary items in a run, you are giving yourself the chance that you will find something modifier-wise that's going to be helpful to you. But yeah, so again, over 100 kills now. And if we can keep this one going, it would be good. But I want to say I get confused and thinking, end up going the wrong way. Like, I should know that this is up now. I should have it pretty clear in my mind that it's up. And I should also note that up has got no enemies. Exploring the corners, that's why we do that. So I should have done that on the previous one as well. Those things won't drop every single time, but they'll drop a good chunk of them. And I think I've concluded that I'm going south and that's the correct way. So we kill this stuff and I run off super happy and go, oh, crap, it's a dead end. But we're at 61 now, so we can open this chest and it might have had Imperial diamonds in it or whatever. But only 9 levels to go, and I think we're about an hour, and I've already made like 5, 6, 7 minutes worth of mistakes. Obviously offsetting that, I suppose, is the tremendous look of the goblin field. I think we try 5 again. There's no shame in dropping the difficulty at this point. You're just trying to get it as efficient as you can, and ultimately you're going to be doing well to be at Torment 1, I think, by the end, level 69, because the game, like, we're not gaining any power now from this point, whereas the mobs, every time the game levels up, it makes them harder. So as you can see, we're taking like 2-3 hits with the dual chakrams there. We get the chest again, so a nice bit of luck. But I think, truth be told, we probably should have swapped this to 4 at this point just to make it a little bit faster. Again, season theme, sorry, it's doing work for us. There's no two ways about it. It is making this certainly faster. Overall, on the season theme for 35, it's a fun little gimmick, but my god, it's an halfway thin pretty quick. I'm looking forward to this season with the soul shards far more, just because it's like, I don't know if the correct phrase is powerful, because in terms of your actual character and playing the game, soul shards are far more powerful than this season theme. But this season theme allows you to do 150s with pretty much anything. Although you can argue the soul shards possibly do the same. Certainly more fun finding them. And I think at this point I do recognise my error and drop it down to Torment 4. And I actually picked the right way for once, and there are some enemies for us to hit, which is nice. Again, elites for this like massacre bonusing, you just want to skip them because the game doesn't care whether you're killing these little tiny grub bug things. They count 1 kill, same as an elite, both count as 1 kill. That's just it. That 150 kill streak on that season theme is so good. Just like melts the screen. Really, really nice. We're going to get a decent-ish kill streak here again. A better player probably would have kept this up longer, I think. Again, you're trying to kill the stuff, but you got to try and like leave something for you to kind of like kite into the next bit of mobs. But it looks like I managed to keep this one going a little bit longer. I don't think I get more than a 300 kill streak in this entire run, and I know it is possible to do far better than that. But leveling's a weird one because we do it every year, and I'll play through it a couple of times just for like a bit of practice, but then after that it's gone. So yeah, we missed the 300 by again probably not playing that correctly. But we've only got 4 levels to go now, so not too bad. And there we go, Marquee Diamond. So as we say, these are in the loot pool now because we're on to Reapers of Souls. And we get our Mage Fist Gloves, so 20% fire damage. Again, that would be usable with the Natalyas because we would be taking the fire route even at the start. So getting your season journey done, well, 20% more damage for free, which is nice. You would, of course, just want to pop it in the cube, but you could be taking your Reps Clarity in the cube. Damage reduction. It's nice to have all of the options. And I think I decided that we probably should have been putting in that red gem, like the 190 damage. And again, it's quite cheap to re-roll stuff at the Mystic. We've got loads of gold now, so we whack her up to the top, and then we're going to take the cooldown, roll it off. Vitality is fine, attack speed is going to give us damage, but I think I just opt for 8% damage because I figured that's probably better than the attack speed. Don't know, maybe attack speed was better, but we've now pimped the character up now. I've realised at this point that we probably should have had Companion on. Back Companion will generate hatred for us naturally, and it does it when we pop the button. So again, there's been a few times we've potentially been lacking in chakram damage output due to lack of resource, so that was a bit of a whoopsie as well. But we've got a really good combo going here because of the luck of finding the Siri Satchel. Our left click actually does quite a bit of work instead of just relying solely on the chakram. So obviously the chances of you finding that are pretty slim, but you might find something else that you can build with. And if not, well, this whole process will just take you a little bit longer. And you can use some of the time that I mucked about messing up the cube with the Necromancer. And I think ultimately doing this run, I would be quite tempted to play Necro up until I had the ability to craft a level 60 bow. I think that kind of makes sense because you're really not running into trouble. Now that might involve doing a vision on the Necro. Like I kind of like it in terms of, I think, get yourself up to the level 70 stuff with the Demon Hunter, don't look back. But ultimately, if you're going to swap onto the Demon Hunter, doing the visions on it if you can. We have shown in this example just the sheer luck you can get with the items that can drop, which is pretty nice. So it's a tough call. I think overall you can do it either way. I don't mind jumping on a level 61 bow and getting through to the visions. You do have to ask yourself though, what would have happened if we hadn't got a vision to spawn early on? And again, we're short of the 250 kill streak because again I'm not paying attention, and I should have made it so that I could have got to this room faster and had something to kite along the way, and then that would have given us like maybe a 300 or 400 kill streak. But we're going to be at level 68. Again, corpses coming down from the sky. Watching this back, it is just insane how helpful they are. Now we only need 2 more levels, so I think I'm hoping it's only 1 more run at this point, but I think it does take a bit of time. Again, I just dropped to Torment 2, certainly happy to drop to Torment 1 again. Balancing out that need for quick kill speed and XP. But yeah, I remember remember back in the day, before we had any of these leveling tactics, the 69 to 70 grind was a real thing. It was pretty hard. But it is a little boring, honestly, coming and doing this like zone again. But ultimately, we're done with it, and it's only been an hour, and we have mixed in a bit of visions. We've done a set of bounties as well. So overall, like, I think an hour and 10, an hour and 15 to have a demon hunter at 70 with resources in hand. Again, I'm forgetting to click the weapon rack because I'm noticing it would still be useful to do that, because the white materials would still be handy. Because obviously, once we get to 70, we're trying to upgrade things in the cube. We're trying to craft things. We're trying to any resources we can get. Basically, are good. The reason we don't pick up yellows and blues so much is because you only get one crafting material for those, whereas the whites you can get like 7, 8, 9, 10, I think, something like that. Then we can just do that conversion process in the cube, and it just makes it so much easier. Just about save that kill streak, and we get the chest again, which is nice. I was kind of thinking maybe this will be like 70, maybe we'll get here, but spoiler, we just miss out and have to come back again, I think. Similarly, I can see I'm not exploring the corner again, so that's something for me to bear in mind opening night. If I do decide to do solo demon hunter, I probably need to work on just chaining my kill streaks a little better, making sure that I'm exploring the areas of the map that I want to be. But I don't know, an hour, like, it's fine. You know, season starts 4 PM UK time, so if I've done the challenge rift and I'm at 70 at 5:30 with you know, modifiers kicking about, and I do remember to do the corner, but it's not one that spawns. We should be heading up north. I should be like kiting that dude rather than killing him. We get lucky, as it happens. There's an elite there, so that's fine. We can carry on, see what we get. But I forget to click the elite, and the kill streak finishes. So I think we probably decide to just carry on with this, because we're probably only about 2/3 of a level away, and if we can get up a decent-ish streak again, then that should be it. But I think we just run out of room, and I just think let's just go for the certainty of getting it done one more time. So 69, last one, and yeah, nearly there at like an hour and 15. So Torment 1, this level 69, this is just always where we end up. I think even on Necro, I tend to end up around about Torment 1, maybe Torment 2, depending how it's gone. And I think probably like a 100, 150 at this point would get it done. So we're just squashing the little bugs and legging into the map. And yeah, I don't know. I'm really worried now. I've completely bricked. I know luck doesn't work like this. Luck is completely independent. As in, if you get lucky the first go of something, you can still, your luck is exactly the same for the next one, albeit over time there is regression to the mean. But I'm just worried that this was such a good run that I've bricked myself. So I hope you're doing well on season 36, which I presume you're watching this through as a VOD. Presumably pick the Demon Hunter. Natalya's, do make sure you check out the starter guide that I made for it. The 2-piece I think is fine. 4-piece is quite good for the toughness, and the 6-piece you'll put it together pretty quickly. GR20 will be a breeze, and I think it's quite fast into Torment 16. Not as good as the Necromancer, but still pretty economical. And if you can get into your Gears of Dreadlands within like 2 or 3 hours of getting to 70, that would be pretty nice. Just remember, roll your shards on your offhand to get the Siri Satchel if you're not a super lucky person like me and find it during your leveling experience. Dreadful massacre bonusing from me here because we only get 45 kills. Roll the rest of your shards on your belt to make sure you get your Hunter's Wrath, I think it's called, the Hungering Arrow belt. And then when you're talking about Gears of Dreadlands set pieces, just go for pants. Get 6 of them and then convert them. And I think, I don't know why, I got it in my head that the cursed chest room was going to be back here, up in this tile up to the north, which it clearly isn't. I made a massive whoopsie, and we have to come back and do it again. So again, it probably would have been sensible to just press on with the rest of that map, because there probably was enough trash in there. So again, a few seconds left due to the filthy casual inefficiency gameplay. But yeah, it is what it is. Don't beat yourself up about it, guys. I don't. It's a bloody video game at the end of the day. We're playing it for fun. But it is nice to make feel like you're making good progress. And hopefully speaking, the tips in this will be helpful. My God, I pray for you. If you've done the Demon Hunter the whole way, kudos to you, because I just can't stand doing it up until level 18, until you get Twin Chakram, which is just rancid. I just don't like it at all. I don't know why I haven't picked those gems up. I think I'm probably just at this point naffed off and thinking, let's get to 70 as quick as we can. But again, make sure you click the things. It's amazing watching your own gameplay, Black, just the amount of stuff that you don't even see dropping. It makes me wonder, how many primals have I missed in the past that have dropped and my brain's just not even seen them? Again, I suck. We get to 98 and I forget I'm playing a ranged character. I'm so used to doing corpse explosion, it's like close and personal for leveling. I keep forgetting that I can actually fire across the screen and chain my kills together. Like I'm barely pressing any buttons. But yeah, I think this is the last kill streak. I don't think we need much more than that. And I can't remember where to get the chest. It looks like this might be a chest map. I can't remember. The floaty guys on this map, they're really useful for actually keeping your kill streaks together, but I always forget to like hit them, kite them. But we've only got like a little bit of the progress bar to go, so I'm pretty sure that this will do it. And I just make sure we get over 100 kills here, and that is definitely it. And we are most of the way through, I think, the first Paragon level as well. Once we do, so yeah, there we go. Paragon 1, level 70. So that was an hour and 14 minutes or something like that. I think I check the character time here just to make sure. So that is, yeah, 47 minutes on the Demon Hunter 1 to 70 and 27 minutes on the Necro to position us to the Demon Hunter. It could be done faster. I'm absolutely convinced it could be done faster. But for me personally, that's a pretty good run. There were definitely some lucky parts to it. We've got those legendaries. We've got the legendaries that we salvaged. We've got bounty mats in hand. We've got DBs in hand. We've got crafting mats. We've got 6 keys. This would be a good position, I think, for us to go off and do it. Right, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. All the best for season 36. Let me know if you've got anything interesting whilst leveling. It's always nice to read the comments. I've been the Filthy Casual. I'll see you again real soon. Take it easy, guys. Peace.